In this video, I want to talk to you about installing new software into a virtual machine. Now this sounds like a very simple thing, and it is, because installing new software into a virtual machine is very similar to installing software on a physical computer, with one little caveat, and that's why I'm doing this video, to save you an afternoon of frustration and yelling and screaming at your computer. And so first of all, let's talk about the prerequisites. When I get ready to install new software into a virtual machine, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I have the latest version of VMware tools installed on the guest OS. So just go out there into the guest OS, check up on your VMware tools. Then I want to make sure that my virtual machine has access to the installation software. Okay, so I'll show you that in just a minute when we jump out into the interface, and by that we mean we want to make sure that the virtual machine is either pointing to or has access to the CD/DVD drive, or we point it to an ISO image of what we're trying to install. We also, this is very important, now we're getting into that area where I'm going to save you some time, okay? Verify your guest OS memory settings before you start to install software. Now it's not unusual, I've done this many times. I just grab some software, I install it into the guest OS, then I open the software up and it seems to be running kind of clunky, and so I go back out, I go add more memory to my guest operating system. Then when I start it back up the next time, I get this irritating thing about reactivating the software. Changing that memory setting can trigger kind of one of the flags in some of the software, especially Windows software, saying that there's been a hardware change, indicating to them that maybe this has just been installed on a separate physical machine than what it used to be, and so you're going to have to reactivate, and that just irritates you, okay? So make sure you've got all your settings done before you install software to keep from having issues later. Now, if an installation hangs up or stops responding, and this is really why I wanted to do this video for you, if the installation starts and you've seen this thing before and it should just be running, but it just hangs up or it stops responding or it just seems to be taking forever, what you need to do is go disable acceleration. You say, well, that's a great idea. Exactly how do I do that? Well, if I go into the virtual machine option on the menu out in the workstation interface and choose settings, I can go to the hardware tab and choose processors and just select disable acceleration. Now let me jump out there and show you what that looks like. So here we are out in the workstation interface, and notice for professional, let's say I'm trying to install some software here and it just keeps hanging up and causing problems. I'm going to go to VM settings, and then under processors you will notice right here under virtualization engine, disable acceleration for binary translation. What is it doing? You don't know, you don't want to know, maybe, okay? If you do know, great. If you don't know, don't worry about it, okay? Just know this is the fix. Just disable acceleration for binary translation, turn that on, say okay, do the install, let it run. Once it gets past the place where that's been happening, you can actually go back out here, go back to processors, turn that back off, because when you can run it with acceleration, your installation is going to run a lot faster. Disabling it a lot of times will get you past some of those system hangs that happen. So anyway, that's just a little trick, maybe a little time saver for you every once in a while when you're trying to install software into a virtual machine.